I know it can be really overwhelming trying to start a business, but it doesn't have to be. You don't need to make a huge change. It doesn't need to happen all at once. Small, consistent steps will create amazing results for you as long as you take small, consistent steps. Consistency beats force every day of the week. And without action, nothing happens, but consistent action is the name of the game. So in this video, we're gonna look at how you launch a painting company fast and the amazing results you can achieve in a short amount of time with just small, consistent action. So let's start by getting into the numbers. So we're gonna start with the end in mind and look at the business by the numbers. If the goal is to get $1,500 per week in profit in 90 days, I think most people will be pretty happy with that goal. So that's our goal, $1,500 a week within 90 days. To make that happen, we need $5,000 in sales weekly. We need to spend $2,800 on paint and labor costs, and we need $700 available for marketing costs. The only other cost in our business is overhead at this stage, and we want minimal overhead. You want to start up your business to be lean, you want to minimize early investments, and only invest once you have cash flow, and once you have cash flow, you can start making more investments, but we're going to start the business lean. So let's look into a little bit more detail about these numbers, and let's go super conservative. So let's say our average job size is $3,500. That's lower than most of my students in all of my company's average job size. That would mean you need to book 2 jobs per week. More accurately, you need to book about 1.5 jobs per week. To do that, you need to do 6 estimates a week. And again, that's being very conservative. If you book 1.5 jobs on 6 estimates, that's a 25% sales rate, which is way below average of all of our students and members in all of our companies. To do 6 estimates a week, let's say you need 12 leads. That allows you a budget of $60 per lead for $720 invested in marketing per week. All right, so that's the numbers that we want to hit in 90 days. And I think most people will be pretty happy with that result because the real goal of building a business isn't the first 90 days, it's what am I gonna build for the future. And anyone who's building a company, once you get there, now you know how to do that. Once you know how to make $1,500 a week, you know how to do that, and now we can expand from there. Also, with everything we just went through, those are conservative numbers, and you should be able to exceed all of those numbers, and you should be able to do that very, very part-time. All right, so that's what we want to start with. So let's just look at this step-by-step process in month one, month 2, and month 3 to actually make those goals happen. So in month 1, you could spend the first 3 weeks just getting a business set up and established. The simplest way to do that is follow the Painting Business Pro Startup Checklist, which is free on our website. And it's all of the logistics to actually setting up your business, like registering your company, getting your EIN number, setting up your bank account, getting insurance, checking on any licensing, getting a basic logo, and a few other things that you could accomplish in about 15 to 30 minutes a day, and you wouldn't even need to do it every single day. And within a few weeks, you could have the foundation you need to actually start the business. The next thing we're gonna do to start the business is we're gonna focus on marketing to get potential customers, sales and estimating to actually win jobs, and then we'll get to production or the project management process to actually deliver on our promises to customers. So first we want to look at marketing and sales. So for the first 3 weeks of your first month, you're setting up your business. For the next couple weeks, you should be learning. What you're learning is marketing, estimating, and sales. Now we have some free materials on our YouTube channel and on our website for marketing, estimating, and sales. But I'll just be honest with you that that's literally what we do at Painting Business Pro, is to walk you through all the detailed training on how do you market, what's the best thing to do, all the really detailed training on estimating, and really detailed training on sales, which you could get through all of that training in a matter of a couple weeks in the Painting Business Pro training program. And that's the best option. But if you're not willing or able to be a member yet, we've got a number of resources that can at least get you started with learning that on the YouTube channel. So you'll spend the next couple of weeks, maybe in 30 minutes to an hour a day, just learning. How am I gonna market my business to start, to get my first few potential customers? And there's a lot of things you can do to get customers right away, even if you're a brand new business. How are we gonna estimate and quote? And how are we gonna sell these jobs? And I've got a bunch of free materials on that can help you get started. So you spend 2 weeks doing that. So now we're somewhere in month 2. Now we're gonna start doing our marketing. And the goal is ramp up marketing enough. So we're spending $700 a week to get six estimates a week. Now, if you don't have $700 a week, there's a number of things that you can do for free, and I have a YouTube video about free ways to generate business. Things like posting on Facebook, posting on social media, networking, going to networking groups, even posting on Craigslist, or you can just go and knock doors, which is what I did when I started my painting company many years ago. So now you turn on your marketing and you start getting leads, you set up those estimates, you go to those estimates, you deliver the estimate, and you start closing some jobs. And again, you only need to close 1.5 jobs for every 6 estimates you do on a weekly basis. Now we're just gonna do that for 3 or 4 weeks. During those 3 or 4 weeks, you start closing a couple jobs. When you close those jobs, you take a down payment, so now you actually have positive cash flow. That cash flow is actually funding your marketing. If you book $5,000 in jobs, you take a 25% deposit. In some states, you have to take a lower one, like in California, it's a little less than that. But if you take a 25% deposit in most areas, that's $1,250 a week in deposits. That's the money that provides the cash flow for my marketing, and I'm still left over with extra cash flow. And then a few weeks later, in month 3, we need to train ourselves a little bit on how are we gonna actually produce these jobs. So there's 2 ways that you can start your business up and actually produce these jobs for customers. I guess there's 3 ways. 1, you can paint the jobs yourself. If you've got painting experience and you've got the equipment, that's a great option. You can make some really good money on your first couple jobs to put it in the bank, invest more in marketing until you wanna hire painters or subcontractors. Now, I always recommend that when you're starting out, you hire subcontractors. Hiring employees means you also need to provide them with all the equipment. You've got to deal with payroll and workers' comp. You also need to train them, and ultimately, there's a lot more risk with employees. You have to keep them busy. You have to keep steady flow work. There's a lot of other issues, and I've got another YouTube video about the benefits of subcontractors versus employees. The third option, the one I recommend, is you hire a subcontractor. So there are subcontractors out there who are painting contractors who own a painting business, and their business model is to do jobs for other painting contractors. And they know that's what they do. They drive white vans that are unmarked. They don't have their company logos on them because they know they're gonna be going and working for my company or your company, and that we don't want them showing up in a van that's marked with some other company name. So they're out there, these subcontractors have their own equipment, they have their own insurance, they have their own business, they have their own employees, and the deal we have with them is, hey, I'll pay you $2,800 for this $5,000 job. That $2,800 covers labor and materials. When you're finished, I'll pay you. Now, if they don't make the customer happy, you're not gonna get paid, the job's not done, and they don't get paid. So they have to do a good job. Now, that doesn't mean you just hire anybody off the street. You should be really selective, just like you would with anybody that you're gonna hire to represent you in your business. And over time, we're gonna work that $2,800 down to about $2,500 by increasing our prices once you have a little more credibility, references, referrals, and so on. So that's how you're gonna get those jobs produced. So now we're in month 3. We've got $5,000 in work to produce. We have our subcontractor do the jobs. At the end of the job, our client pays us the remaining balance. From that balance, we pay our subcontractors and we have positive cash flow. So by month 3, we're out there doing 6 estimates a week, selling $5,000 a week. We have 1 subcontractor with him and a helper producing $5,000 a week. We're paying them $2,800 and we're profiting about $1,500 a week within 3 months. Now from there, it's all upside. You're not getting into business for the results you can get in the first 3 months. Those results I just went through are conservative. Routinely, we have members at Painting Business Pro smashing those results and numbers. We routinely have members going out and doing $500,000 in business in their very first year, making over 6 figures, and they're able to do it without crazy stress, with taking total control of their schedule. The people who are the most successful at this are the people who are investing a lot into their education and putting time into learning, like, how am I gonna market my business? How do I sell? How do I estimate? How do we manage these projects? And actually having support and a coach in their corner, and that's exactly what we do at Painting Business Pro. But this is the process. This is how you build a foundation, and from here, it's all upside, and it only gets better and better because you can start just doing 8 or 10 estimates a week, job size goes up, average sales rate goes up, you can bring on another contractor, and before you know it, you can be cranking out $10,000 or $15,000 a week in revenue, earning $3,000 to $5,000 a week in profit, and that's really exciting, and that's what we're here for. So I hope you found this video valuable, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and we'll always respond.